Episode 1,
Episode 1, raising capital. What's the hardest thing to do? Is raise capital. So in this episode, we're going to talk about raising capital. We're going to talk about your traditional financing, your non-traditional financing, and at the end, we're going to talk about the sacrifice you're making to actually build this business.
Whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do. So
legally.
Yeah, legally, definitely. So it's ways you can do it. So raising capital, the first thing that most people actually think about is like bank loans and investment.
So I'm going to let my partner talk about that.
Yeah, so
he's the bank guy.
Yeah, I like going through the bank. The reason why I like going through the bank is because they got lower interest rates. Now, they're not in it for kind of like the moving parts like construction loans and rehab. So that's a more traditional standpoint. So if you go through the bank, they're going to ask for 20% down. Now, we're talking to your investor that actually has some type of property already or actually have capital built up. We're going to talk about your investor that probably don't have any capital built up already. But we're talking about right now someone that actually has 20% to put down on a house. Let's put it in perspective. A $100,000 house. The bank is only going to give you $80,000 on a $100,000 house. So they're going to give you 80% finance, 20% down payment. Right. The reason why you go through the bank, interest rates are low right now. On a bank loan right now, you can get about 4% on that loan. Now, does not include your renovation costs. That's just your down payment. The bank is partnering up with you. Traditionally, it's like a 5-year loan. You can do a loan that's 30 years, but majority of the bank, especially being a new investor, they're kind of scared.
Yeah,
they don't trust you as much, and it's going to be a 5-year interest-only loan, so you're not paying any interest down. But what you're doing is you're getting establishing that relationship with the bank because the bank can start off with $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, $2, $5. It all depends on building your relationship, kind of like dating. So you want to kind of start off kind of slow and then kind of move up to those things. So you're putting down that amount of money initially. So that's kind of how your traditional bank loans go. Now, that's not everybody's story. Now, traditional is good, but you're putting more money down. So if you don't have that liquidity and that capital built or that 20%, it's other ways you can do it.
Yeah.
Hard money loan.
So hard money loans are basically, they was created because a lot of banks was denying a lot of investors and first-time investors to get in the loan. Like Chauncey said, you have to have pretty much be clean, have some experience, have 20% put down. Plus, you have to have money if you had to fix up the home. They don't like really rehabbing properties. No. So it had to be a clean deal. So you're trying to graduate to the bank because, like you said, you have lower interest rates. You have more pros. But hard money is going to get you the property quick. Their job is to get the property to you with any condition quickly. They don't care about your relationship. They don't care really much about you. They're really qualifying the property. So what they're looking at, okay, if you go into a house in a neighborhood, the house is $50,000. It's the most nastiest house on the block. You know, you got no lights, no power, water. You have to rehab the home. You have to fix up the home. But when you fix it up, just say that if you buy a house for $50,000 and you put $30,000 in, you add $80,000. But after you put the $30,000 in, that home is now worth $125,000. So that's a good hard money deal because they have their money back, plus you'll be making money in your equity. So hard money deals basically it's a quick way. They look at you to look at your assets. They look how much cash you have in the bank. Mm-hmm. Do you have any other assets you can qualify, like a 401k, stocks? Do you have property you own? Do you have land you own? They're trying to see how much assets you can put inside the deal because they're not going to be 20%. You are starting off, they're probably going to give you 65% LTV. LTV is loan to value. So if the house is worth $100,000, they're going to only give you up to $65,000 of that money. And you might need $85,000.
But that doesn't include your renovations, though.
That includes your renovations. So hard money lives definitely looking at the property. It's quicker. They move faster. They're in the business to make loans. That's how they make their money because they make money off their putting points on the loan, and that's how they make their capital. So they want to give you the money. They want to make sure you understand it's a high interest rate.
When we say higher, let's say that the bank is 4%.
They're probably double.
Yeah.
They're probably 8 or 9%.
Mm-hmm. They can close in
7 to 10 days.
Yep, 7 to 10 days. Putting the title work.
You pay for the appraisal, you pay for the home inspection, and you got the property. But they also give you rehab money. So so it's not like the bank. So the bank is going to give you got to put 20% down for the property and then have your own rehab money.
Yep.
You can put the rehab money inside your loan and fix up the property. So you're only paying one down payment technically at closing. So hard money is a great way. It's a lot of companies out there. You want to do your homework. You want to ask other people who use hard money.
And the term is normally under a year too, about a year to
13-month loan.
Yeah, 13-month loan.
Yeah, 13-month loan, because they're going to ask you what's your strategy on getting out the loan. They're going to ask you, are you going to fix and flip it, that's flipping homes, or are you going to hold as rental so you can refinance? And some hard money lenders do offer refinancing for long-term rentals. So it's a great way to get started. That's what most people do to get started because they don't require a lot of experience. They just basically, if you have enough money to put in a deal, you can do it. I just had a client who got a $200,000 loan, a line of credit with a hard money lender to buy investment homes. She has minimum experience, but she tapped into a 401k. She started a business. She put it in the business account. It's been sitting there for 60, 90 days, and now she's qualified to buy investment property. So it's a good option because they don't care about your experience. They really care about the property and make sure it's going to make sense.
So when you're looking at the hard money, you're looking at the short-term gains of it. You're looking at this is trying to get started. So what your biggest thing is that especially if you put in the rehab money within that hard money loan is that you're trying to get from where the property is now to what it actually is going to be. And this right here is going to be 13 months. So you may actually start with a hard money loan and then refinance into a traditional because by that time you've already built that property from a $50,000 house to a $125,000 house.
Correct.
And then you
may
can take
owe about $80,000.
Yeah, you owe about $80,000 on it, so you can take that money and then refinance it into a traditional bank loan, which will give you a longer term. So it's not a right or wrong thing. It's kind of what your situation is. So when we talk about building capital, you need to figure out like what do you have. People always say what they don't have. What do you have? What kind of goal you have in your backyard?
Yeah.
Like, are you currently like I have a client now that they have traditional jobs. I'm like. They're like, we don't have enough actual liquidity. Well, you can Uber on your days off, or you can Uber after work to build that capital. I don't care what way you do it legally, as long as you figure out a way to actually build that capital.
Yeah. So you got the bank loans, you got the hard money loans, and you say, Dequincey, I still can't get qualified. So we call other bank products, we call them other ways of capital. So your credit cards. I know people who bought property off their credit cards. If you have a $20,000 or $25,000 credit card, 9 times out of 10, you can write a check off your credit card. It's called a cash advance. Now, you need to look at your statement to see your different interest rate because cash advance are a very high interest rate loan. But if you have a $25,000 credit card, you really have $25,000 worth of cash you can go buy a property with.
Yeah, so instead of you buying the Gucci bag that you really wanted on credit.
The Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, you want to actually do some investing with that, what you actually have on hand. We're not saying that's the best option.
That might be your best option.
Yeah, that's the only thing that you have available. And if you have a plan and you know that it's going to be short term, that you can actually go to it, that may be a good idea as well.
Yeah, like you said in other episodes, my first property I bought it for $13,500. I put 12 in it. And I sold it for $65. $25,000 credit card could have did that deal.
Agree, 100%.
You just have to got to make sure, you got to treat this as a loan. You're going to pay it back, and you can't forget about the $25,000 you borrowed when you sell the property.
Yeah,
you need to pay down. You pay off your credit card, and then you get it in the game. So credit cards are a good way. You want to speak about home equity loans?
Yeah, so we're talking about someone who already has a house. Right now, especially with property values have increased tremendously over the last, let's say, 12 months. It's about $20,000, $21,000 in our area as a whole collectively. In those, you have your smaller home is actually more. So
yes.
You bought a house a year ago. I'm going to use somebody as an example. Somebody bought a house for $105,000 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Right now, that house is worth $170,000. So what they're doing is they actually refinanced the house before, and let's say last year, and it went up to $150,000. But in the last 12 months, it went to $170,000. What you can do is that they have a loan on the house for $105,000, correct? So right now, it's worth $170,000. The bank is only going to give you 90% of that value of the house because the bank wants to make sure they're making a safe investment too as well. So what the bank is going to do 90% of 170 is what?
I'm about 153.
So 153 minus 105, so you got about $45,000 to play with. So a home equity line is pretty much a credit card but has collateral, and the collateral is the actual house. So the reason why I like a home equity line because it doesn't force you to actually start paying the actual balance per month as if you got like a second mortgage.
Exactly.
So you kind of use it as a credit card as your leisure. So if you don't got to use a whole $45,000, you can lose $15,000 because that's all the down payment you need. You can go ahead and actually get the money out. Now, it's not going to be like a cash advance. It's going to be the same interest rate. It's just that whatever amount you use, that's the money that you're paying back monthly.
Yeah,
so
the good thing is the interest rate is a little bit higher than your mortgage. So instead of you getting a cash advance loan that's 27%, your home equity line might be 4.5%, 5%.
Yeah, about 5. So you got 3% interest rate. Your equity line probably like 4.5.
4.5, and then the interest you're paying on that home equity line is tax deductible.
It is definitely tax deductible if it's your primary property.
Yeah. So basically, you can have a line. You can have that $45,000 sitting in the bank, and anytime if you find your perfect property, you can go to the bank and withdraw that money. You don't want to find a property and then be trying to find capital. That's what we're trying to tell you guys. You want to have money ready to invest. Okay? Because investment properties don't sit on the market long.
No.
And you have levels of investors. You have top tier investors who buy portfolios. You have middle tier investors who buy about 20 to 50 properties a year. You have first time hometown investors who buy about 5 to 10. Then you are getting into that game, and they're not waiting. And the investment property is not going to wait for you to get your capital. They're not going to wait for you to hold a deal.
Yeah.
They're going to take the best, quickest deal possible.
Agreed.
So I tell my people, hey, you're not even ready to buy a property right now.
Yep.
So you want to have that money. If I have a $45,000 line of equity loan,
It's waiting
on me.
Opportunity to buy investment property.
I can see something. I can call you like, hey, you remember that? You remember you say you want to buy investment property? You can get this one and put $25,000 down, and you can get this and get this. You be like, oh, where I'm gonna find $25,000? Oh, I got the home equity line. I can go to the bank today before 5 and have a cashier check for that property.
You're liquid. So that's what my biggest thing is figuring out how to actually get liquid. So the home equity line is an actually thing too.
And you're not losing your property.
You're not.
You're just using the money that your property made. It's like it's your money.
So that's why we always encourage you to buy the property versus actually
Yes.
leasing it because you're taking advantage of the equity that is being built in actually staying in that property, and you're using that money to your advantage to actually buy more property.
Like you said, your friend only had the house like 2 years.
2 years.
105 to 170 in 2 years.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about a property that was in bad condition.
Yes.
Like, they just actually renovated the property. I mean, when I say renovated, it was like cosmetically, like update the paint and move into the property. And look at how much equity they built in that short period of time. But using that money wisely is the key factor. That she could have went out and bought some crazy stuff, but she's actually using that money that she actually got in that home equity line to actually acquire more property. The name of the game is to make sure is actually to actually use that money to invest. That is not free money that you're going to invest and take a good trip with.
Exactly.
You work for that money to do that way, but that's kind of one way you can do it.
You use your property to buy other property.
That's what you use your property to buy other property.
Like the game of Monopoly. You build a house.
That is nothing but a game of Monopoly.
That's it. You build a house, you take that money and build another house, and you build another house. And you're just building up your equity. It's not your money to look at. It's not you to be proud that you bought a house for $100,000, that's worth $200,000. And you're not tapping into none of that equity.
Agreed.
Like, you need to tap into it. Like Chauncey said, now don't go and have a spending spree and get yourself more in debt.
Yeah.
Don't go buy a boat or things like that. But if you want to invest into, like, real estate, that is the perfect way to do it.
That's the perfect way to do it.
Because it's your money. You're not taking out your cash flow. It's not taking out your check.
Yep.
It's not taking out your paycheck every month. Only thing you're doing is, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to get this $25,000 home equity line, I'm going to put this property in, I got a way to get it back.
Agree, 100%. So I can tell you my first story with my actual.
You were doing the.
Yeah.
Are we doing the traditional, the non-traditional? These are the Hail Mary stories, ladies and gentlemen. These are like, think outside the box. You kick the box down the road. Like, you. This is Hail Mary, last shot of the game, half court. Stories we want to tell you guys that we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I'm talking
and
about
it worked.
personal stories.
You know, these are personal stories.
Yeah.
Y'all to this podcast to hear personal stories.
Yeah.
We're not trying to lie to you or tell you what we think can work.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you what did work and why it worked.
Yeah, so I like to drive a certain kind of experience of driving. That is just who
He likes foreign cars.
I like one brand of cars because I want it to perform. I want to feel like I'm on the Autobahn running through traffic and everything.
Yes.
But when I first bought my first property, which I actually was going to buy, it was an Airbnb kind of concept. What I was going to do is that I needed a new car because I had the car for 5-6 years. So for me, I wanted to buy the experience. I wanted to go really deep into what I actually like. But for me, that's not important. That's like something that I want. But I know I needed to buy a property. So what I did, I bought a cash car. It was something reliable. I love it because I still have this car to this day because it's a reliable car. If my machine shuts down, I know this right here just need regular gas. Yeah. It has no payments because I'm willing to sacrifice 2 steps of me driving what I really want to drive to get where I want to go. So the reason why I did this is that your debt to income ratio is very important when you're purchasing something. The bank is looking to see if you're actually a safe investment. So with that is that if I got a car payment, it would have knocked my debt to income ratio off. So for me, I sacrifice what I love to do in order to move myself to the next step because I feel that me moving to the next step is important. So what I did was I got a cash car because it's not going to show up on my credit. They didn't have to put my credit score. And I can drive that around until I actually move to the next step. So that's what I did. I got rid of the car. Okay. I got a cash car. And then once I got my business going, then I bought my machine again.
Okay.
But that's kind of what I did for my first property. It was because you have to make those sacrifices. I have people come to me all the time, and they have brand new cars, and they have things. If you're trying to get into this real estate game, if you got a 2020 card, take it to CarMax, especially in this time right here. They'll cash out. They'll go ahead and give you probably more than what your property, your car value is worth. But my thing is having a goal and doing what you need to do to sacrifice that goal. You got bags, you got anything. You need to sell everything. I would sell everything to actually accomplish my goal. And I think I see a lot of people don't want to make any sacrifices. I want to do this. It's a dream until you actually start doing it.
Yeah. And my story was basically just graduated from a master's in South Carolina State. Shout out to my HBCU. And I was, I was doing good, but I was high in debt, and I couldn't get to the next level. So I had to figure out. I looked at my finances. So I sold real estate back then. And I was preaching to my clients about debt to income ratios and getting under debt. And I was thinking to myself, I'm telling them to do that. Let me look at my situation. Yeah. Let me look where I'm at. I got a high car payment. It was like $600 Ford F-150. I love it to this day. It had 26-inch rims. It was very nice. I had a very good time in it. But it was basically, I knew that I had to get my debt to income ratio lower to get to the next level. So I was just thinking of ways, Dequincey, how can I get $25,000, $50,000 quickly without legally? So I was just thinking of ways, and I was thinking then my dad was like, why don't you don't build your house and take the equity out of that? So I say, yeah, I could build my house. But I didn't want to build it where I was from. I didn't want to build in Orangeburg. So I had to find me deals. I had to go find me a neighborhood that I liked in Blythewood that luckily they got hit bad by the 08 crash. So $190,000 lots was $9,000 lots now. Mm-hmm. So it was a great neighborhood. People had beautiful homes. So I had to say, okay, I'm going to build this type of house. I got to get my income ratio down because I wasn't making too much money. And I was still a 1099 employee, so I didn't want to pay too much in taxes. So I had to get my debt down. So I had to, like he said, go to CarMax. First I had to sell the rims, sold the rims. Then I had to take my car to CarMax, sold that, and I had to drive my dad's pickup truck for 6 months.
We talking about old pickup trucks.
It was nice back then.
Yeah, it was nice, but it was old.
Nice. Yeah, 10 years ago, it had power, seats and stuff. It was a nice pickup truck. I'm very grateful for it. Mm-hmm. But I had to do that. I had to sell my car, and I had to get myself in line to build my house so I could set myself up where I'm at now to buy my first property. Mm-hmm. So when I tell people, you ever go to CarMax and sell your car? I want to do that. I did that. Yeah. Or would you ever, like you said, sell your Jordans, your Gucci shoes, your Gucci bags to build capital? I have done that. Yeah, you should do that. I mean, we get to the point now, people, that if you got a goal, you really got to go after your goal. Because think about it now. All the sacrifices I have made back in 2014, 2015 has set me up where I'm at today.
Oh, agree 100%. I wouldn't
be here today if I didn't make them sacrifices that I made 5 years ago.
It is.
You have to make sacrifices. You have to look at yourself. And maybe if you can't get the $25,000, $50,000 and you got a personal home, sell your home, get an FHA loan that's 3.5%, and buy a duplex and buy a 4-unit.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can sell you don't need your primary home. You like, hey, listen here, I want to be in investment game, but of course I can't make $50,000. Well, can you sell your home and get 3.5% down like you did before your other home? Because you get gift funds for your family. You go to your family, have a family meeting, like, hey, I want to sell my home. I'm going to buy this 4-unit for $400,000. We need $15,000 to put down. I got 10. Do anybody got 5? Anybody got 2,000? These are the numbers. I'm gonna live in 1 unit.
Yeah, you're doing a proposition because they can be. You probably have older people have 401ks. That was very popular.
Doing nothing for them.
Yeah, they're doing nothing for them. You can go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm buying a property. You're not asking them for any more. You're showing them how they can be an investor into it.
Exactly.
You got the property that you want to buy, 4 units. You got $15,000, but you need $20,000. You tell them, hey, this is what this property gonna cash flow. This is what it's gonna actually do per month. This is how we're going to maintain it. Kind of actually give them a proposition of, hey, would you want to invest in with me? And make sure you have your facts together because you're trying to get more people aboard because the only thing you got is $15,000.
That's it.
You need $25,000, so you need to figure out how you're going to actually get that capital up.
Yeah, don't be ashamed to ask for help. And don't be ashamed to present deals. You'd be surprised how many people have money in the bank, money in their 401ks or stocks that they don't know what to do with it. They're waiting on somebody to tell me what to do with my money. If you come in there educated, you can bring your realtor with you. You can bring a real estate friend with you. Like, if y'all don't believe me, he wants to do the deal. This is the deal. Numbers don't lie, okay? If you tell, hey, we're going to get $1,500 per unit, we're going to cash flow this much, and if you want, do it like a Shark Tank. Do you want a line of equity? Do you want some equity into the deal?
Agreed.
Do you want a loan on this deal? Do you want to make some percentage on your money? Like, do you want to give me a personal loan for 5 years, 10% interest, and I'll pay you back monthly? Because you can see the property you're going to buy, whatever you have to do to get that property.
And then especially somebody like that, they see, like, I can see when I actually did mine, when they see me moving differently, like, hey, I'm not going on vacation because I'm a vacation person. I got rid of my car to go this. People see that you're doing things to position yourself in a better position. So these are the sacrifices I made in order for us to actually push this here. Do you want to be a part of this movement? And that's where you're going to actually see where you build your capital at. And don't be afraid to actually go down 2 steps to move 10 steps on anything. You have a vision of what you want to do. You want to create this Airbnb kind of portfolio. So make those sacrifices now because I'm not looking, when I sold that stuff off, I was not looking at what's going to happen next year. Exactly. I'm not going to look at what's next. I'm looking at my 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 30 year plan.
Exactly.
That's what you're looking at. So if I have to make these sacrifices now, then let's do it. Whatever I got to do to make it happen, I'm going to do it because...
And people notice your sacrifice.
Agree 100%.
When I sold my rims, and I told my parents, can y'all follow me to CarMax so I can sell my car? I had an offer did. Like, okay, he's serious about this. They getting on board because they realize, oh, you really serious. You really cash it in.
You committed.
I'm committed. I'm 100%
committed to it.
So, man, don't let nobody stop you.
And don't let your pride stop you. Ooh. I see a lot of people that are very prideful that, hey, I don't want to get this right here down to the actual very bottom.
Boy, I had to throw that pride away in 2014.
Oh, yeah. With me, when I'm laser focused on something, I don't care what it is. If I'm laser focused on it, I'm going to be 100% committed to it. Whatever I got to give up, I'm always, an analogy is that I will cut the arm off to preserve the body. Like, that's kind of how I look at things, is that if the arm got to go, he got to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, so because we're going to preserve the body. But people do not want to make those sacrifices. You want to actually have that passive income. You want to actually kind of create more wealth. But you don't want to sacrifice your lifestyle to do it temporarily. That to me, honestly, I do not like that type of person that's like that, and I don't even want to be kind of involved because you have a dream. You don't actually have a goal in life. Because somebody that has a goal in life is willing to do what they need to do in order
Like,
to actually
read all your
do
successful men, women's stories. They sacrifice everything for their dream.
Yep.
Jeff Bezos become the richest man in the world because he didn't sacrifice. He sacrificed a lot of things. Elon Musk sacrificed a lot of stuff. So you have to realize you have to sacrifice to what you want. If it makes sense, you sacrifice it. Like if I sold. Like you said, I wasn't looking at my next year me or my year after that. I was looking at my 5 to 10 year me. Like, okay, I'm gonna be in a better financial situation.
Yep.
I'm making money in different ways. I'm gonna make money while I'm sleeping. I'm building generational wealth for the next generation behind me. So it's just like, come on, y'all. I mean, and I hear a lot of complaints from families that, your wife and you got kids and you got this for dream home. Listen here. I built 2 homes in my life, and I'm working on the 3rd one. I don't have a dream home yet. Okay, 'cause I don't have enough cash flow to have a dream home yet. Okay?
I don't even know what dream home is because I don't look at things like that.
You talk to your partner like, listen here, we have to do this. We have to move. It's gonna be hard for a couple of years, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth it.
Be a visionary. You have to envision what you want in life and kind of go from there. But that's what my thing is when it comes to building capital. It's a lot of things that it's nowhere possible, I believe 100%. Everybody, if you look around, have at least $1,000 that you can come up with in the next 24 hours. Look around your house. You got something in there. I'm talking about everything, too. I'm talking about the couch. I'm talking about the TV.
I'm talking everything.
Everything. You could come up with $1,000 quickly. Shoes. I mean, you could come up with it very quickly if you really want to sacrifice it.
Yeah, if you got look at your budget. Hey, Netflix gotta go.
Yeah.
Internet might gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean,
eating out might gotta go.
Yeah. I have to get this done to get this started. So what we're trying to tell you guys is no excuse.
There's no excuse.
You can do it.
Yep.
And we did it. And you're thinking like, oh my God, they're doing so good and they're balling. No, if you caught me in 2014, 2015, you think I was doing
grinding.
bad.
Yeah.
How you think I wasn't doing bad? I was grinding.
I was grinding. I was on a mission. And that's why I said I still have that car to this day here.
My dad sold a truck. I'm
yeah,
mad.
Your dad did.
He sold a truck.
But it was recent though. He
sold a truck though. He sold a truck though. He sold a truck. I said I would have bought the truck, Bob. just for sentimental value. But he sold the truck.
But no, that's what the biggest thing is about building capital. We want you guys to make sure that get your mindset right on what your goals are. Make sure you know exactly where you want to move to and get that going. And then that's how you build capital. Yeah,
don't start with, I want 5 Airbnbs in next year. Get one.
Yeah, start with one.
Get in the game. Like, you're not in the game yet.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even on the field. Get in the game.
Get in the game.
I'm going to get one. How I'm going to get this one?
And I don't care if I want a 3-bedroom, 2. I want one on the lake. No, get a studio apartment. That's all you got?
Exactly.
Your budget say you can get a studio apartment?
My 1-1s are performing greatly.
Yes, 1-1s are actually really good. You think that they wouldn't.
You really think they're really not good, but it's really a good product.
Agree 100%. So that's the biggest thing on episode 1 about building capital. Let's go to the other episodes for more information.
Yeah, so y'all any questions, comments, please put them under the comment screen. Please share this podcast. Please follow us on Instagram at My Real Estate Mistakes on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, all that.
So that is Airbnb series part 1, My Real Estate Mistake.